And so the next topic that we're gonna get into is our weekly preview. We have a few games that we're gonna preview. First one we have the Dolphins versus the Bills. We obviously just finished speaking about Josh Allen. Um, this is a pretty big game. I believe the Bills. I believe it's supposed to be a snow game, but they're gonna play it most likely somewhere else, depending on how bad the snow gets.
Yeah, they
Do you
usually.
know the status of that or?
I haven't heard anything, but I know there's a huge storm, and I know usually when it snows in Buffalo, they move the game to Detroit.
Yeah,
Oddly, because Detroit is actually the closest place to Buffalo,
that's
NFL
crazy.
city wise.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they go ahead and move the game there. I know this was a 7.5 point spread in favor of the Bills, with the Bills being the home team. I don't know how much this is going to change because of weather or if they change location, what the current outlook is of this game. But yeah, it's a huge game regardless because this is the game that, if you remember, was the game that the Bills lost with the clock management debacle
Oh, right,
and
right.
the coordinator was flipping out.
Yeah.
So this is the rematch of that game.
Oh, yeah. So
And
they're out for blood
so
then.
so we already have that whole narrative, plus the fact that the Dolphins have turned into a pretty good team. And then you throw in that the Dolphins had this little slide as of late, and this is going to be a pretty important game for them if they're going to try to win this division.
Yeah.
You have to win this game, and so yeah, this sets up pretty nicely for a lot of fun narratives. And yeah, I mean, seems like overall the probably the more hyped game coming into this week because of all those things. And yeah, I mean, I would agree with the Bills being the favorite. I don't know if I would take them at 7.5 points.
Yeah, that's kind of
Um,
a lot.
yeah, that's a lot of points for a team that lost, to the Dolphins before. And if the Dolphins turn out to be an okay team, like probably most people would have projected, then maybe you find a spread like this. But the Dolphins are explosive. I mean, Tyreek
Yeah.
Hill is putting up crazy numbers this year. Jalen Waddle has been helping. Tua's been playing great. Their defense has been stepping up. They've been a well coached team. And so, yeah, but yeah, all around interesting game. The Bills trying to stay and fight for that number one overall seed with the Chiefs. So for them, it's a big game as well because, as we know, the playoffs now format makes only one team get that
Get
bye,
that by, yeah.
and I'm sure the Bills would like to have the bye in this situation. So
Yeah. And another thing, just last thing with the Bills is I think this is the time where they start to get hot. I think this is the time to get hot in December leading into the playoffs because you don't want to they've been kind of up and down, kind of inconsistent. This is where they want to kind of get on track. The Dolphins, I mean, the same thing goes for them, especially being that they just dropped one against the Niners and the Chargers, which are two great teams, great football teams. But again, the Dolphins they've shown throughout the entire season they're a great football team.